Hi everyone.
Hello.
Alright.
Hi.
With me today, this is Yicheng. Alright, another good friend of mine. We have been friends for many years. Alright, so welcome again to the podcast. Alright. How I've been doing for the last week. I hope that you enjoyed the last session. So joining for the next section. So Yicheng, so how have you been? Been 20 years, 25 years that we've been together?
Wow, it's a long time.
Yeah.
I think, and the number is still counting.
Still counting, okay. Count the number of years, but not the number of age. We are still very young. I'm the youngest maybe. Okay.
Definitely you're youngest.
Right, so what you have been up to this year since the COVID?
It has been a very exciting and unprecedented year, where the challenges we have never come across for the last few years.
Yeah.
So have been quite busy.
You're busy. You're busy doing work or looking for work or do nothing.
I guess a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
My nature of job is involve a lot of human beings.
Right, okay.
In different aspects. Mainly is that I manage buildings.
Alright.
Yeah, and buildings don't talk. Human beings talk.
How nice,
Yeah. In such climate where we release our spaces to people, it is a tough time where they're trying means to survive.
Yeah.
So this is where that some encouragement and you can inspire them through giving them rebates. So a lot of interactions is needed along the way.
Right, in your interaction, that's interesting. I think just like what we see outside, right? I mean, it's sad thing that's happening around the world and locally. So what's something that you are seeing, the challenges you face in the people?
In the people.
Yeah, in the people that you have met.
Well, I guess that I see all walks of people in life and in work. So they come with different backgrounds and different experience. So if you are looking for this year, I think this is the time where you really see the difference in their background, because you review from the way they react and they respond to the situation and the COVID circumstances. So very much is that if a person who has been actively trying to grow or learn along the way, building up themselves mentally, physically and all that, in fact these kind of circumstances they would be more resilient. But not having said that is that the other group, while they may not have continuous growth or learn along the way, some of them may have the attitude to perceive on. So if you want to dissect, there are different groups.
Okay,
definitely.
Great. Right. So what's the most challenging group that you have seen? And what were the challenges?
I guess the key thing will be it has in everyone. It's called FEAR, fear.
Oh yes.
Well, and this fear is something which it grows with us, regardless what experience background you have. So very vividly you see this fear in the group which has the least exposure in the past. In other words, that they didn't spend the effort or enough to grow themselves mentally or physically, which earlier said that part. So that's why then this kind of unknown situation, uncertainty, strike fear into them most grateful. Greatly. And I guess that this group of people is the most difficult to manage or to encourage. Why? Because they're very negative.
Okay.
And when you bring positive, they find this positive is a rebalance of what they're going through. And they didn't realize they are in negative spot.
There's sometimes a blind spot, but like a blind spot whereas we provide the feedback, but unfortunately some are just oblivious to that. Right? So we can do our part the best that we can to inspire them, to motivate them. So please tell me a little bit what you're doing. Actually, just now you said about dealing with buildings and people. So maybe enlighten me more.
Well, I have been managing buildings in the last 3 years.
Right.
24 years. And human beings. Whatever things in the building we have to maintain. Okay. So you need to work with different walks of people, maintaining the lights, the leak, the electrical, the plumbing, the fire maintenance, aircon, even simple breakdown, aesthetic wall, glasses, and all kind. So that is a group of contractors.
Right.
Another group will be consultants who do the design. They comply with the certification with government agencies, etc. Of course, together with the government agencies. Another group will be the occupiers. The occupier will come in and stay in, or it could be a buyer to buy the property, so they stay in a condo, or it could be in a private commercial building where they operate their businesses.
Right.
And another fourth group who maintain the ongoing of the building.
Okay.
So they are stationed at the building. They are known as security guards or otherwise cleaners.
Okay.
So these are the group of people who people hardly aware of them, but they have been working hard around the clock to make sure that
behind the scene that actually make sure that everything goes well, right? And lose speak and expect. So in these four groups that you have, where actually you are?
wow, that's a very good question. I'm everywhere.
Okay. You're there. So exactly what?
Well, when the beginning of my career, I was a Miss.
When your beginning is how long ago?
That was when the beginning of my career.
Like how many years that was? Cannot be that long.
That was
Okay, we will not ask you.
This video over years ago.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I started off on the ground basis working with all these people.
Right.
So managing buildings. So I was once a building manager.
Okay.
So you
That's
get to liaise with that. So along the way, I have moved up the ladder.
Yeah. Wow.
Managing more buildings. Yeah. So to the extent that right now I'm listing the units for a company to manage the tenants.
Alright.
Of course, we continue to sell property as well.
Wow, so you're almost everywhere from in every facet of the business yourself. So actually, in what industry? What do you call in this industry that you're in?
Well, some people call it property management. Some people call it facility management.
Right.
Some people call it sales and leasing. Some people call it people management.
Okay.
Some people call it 包说包嗨. Yeah, well, basically is that I'm currently working for a owner.
Okay.
Right? We build our own property, we buy our own land, we build our own property, we sell and release it. Yeah. This come a long way where experience accumulated where currently I'm doing this and I'm overseeing the team to run this property.
So it takes a lot of skills, to be in your position. So what does it take? I mean, share a bit of your background there. So do you need to upgrade yourself, need to learn? Where do you get all these skills or education from?
Well, I guess we learn every day.
Okay.
We learn from different people every day.
Sure.
And I think that academically, something we have to start as basic.
Sure.
Well, thinking back, I graduated with the Polytechnic diploma, and I started off in the industry.
In what particular field was that?
I was in building and real estate.
So you started as a building, in building.
Yes,
Sure.
right. So as building management person, we learn everything, which I have shared earlier, all walks of people. Basically, I'm a jack of all trades, but master of none, and this is always what I share with others. Really, because in course of job and in life, we really learn things from different people from different levels.
Yes.
Don't be little auntie who is mopping the floor.
Yeah.
You don't know the vast experience that she comes
That's right.
along.
Yeah.
When you're chit-chat exchanging, you don't realize that the person used to be a high-ranking person, but as he reached a certain age, he decided that they want to go slow.
Yeah.
So they will need to do this humbly. And I guess that this is life. I'm thankful that I learned all this from these people. But of course, how do I start off is that academically in poly, I'm very fortunate to meet a few people who guided me along the way. One of you is yours sincerely. I have two other mentors. Well, I'm very, very grateful, and along this video over years, in the way have guided me, right? Whether it is academically, or it is knowledge, or within, or self-discipline, a lot of internal strengths. Because in order to be part of this society, you need to have a lot of strength internally in order to manage this stress. Yeah. Yeah.
So you said the bigger classroom is actually out there. It's not just within the classroom itself, it's out there. And actually the experience that you have interacting with people, chatting with people, meeting people with different backgrounds, actually that's a greater education than anything else. Alright, so with that, so you've been in this field for 25 years, right? Like, what is the one thing that in your 25 years or so that you're seeing? What's the one big challenge that you're seeing?
In bottom line, it may be a very big building, it has very sophisticated systems. After all, the one they're using is human beings.
Okay.
So I guess the human being is the most sophisticated in the whole world. And I guess that this is, I think personally, is the most challenging, and but yet it is the most mystical, because human thoughts are so powerful.
Okay.
Yeah, and as I talk to different levels of people, you realize that you may be very educated doesn't mean that you carry a lot of very functional, practical solutions. But a person who is not educated can tell you, this is how you solve.
Okay.
So I guess that I won't call it really a challenge, but I guess how to improve ourselves, our well-being is that we need to talk to more people. But then, in order to be able to absorb the real info or real wisdom from these people, number one criteria you need to have is patience.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess the EQ comes along.
Okay.
And EQ has been a big topic that I learned 30 over years ago from this mentor here. And another mentor who told me that how do you talk to people from different levels? Well, the person could be CEO, could be even assistant to president. So how do you talk to them? Yeah. How do you talk to the cleaner? How do you talk to the security guards? They have different wavelength. The spectrum will be very wide. So I guess is that the keyword is called humble. And use your be as you are, the person, a human being talking to a human being. And likewise, we are doing that now.
Be original, not the crispy one at KFC, right? You like crispy or original?
I think I like which one? Both.
Both, okay.
Nah,
Yeah,
both are fine because it's chicken, you know.
Oh, as long as it's chicken.
Yummy, yeah.
We're gonna have this after lunch, right?
Oh,
We're
right.
gonna have for this for lunch.
Yes.
All right, great. I think totally agree. Regardless of who you're meeting with, it's just be yourself. Right? Engage them and who they are rather than what they are. Right? At the end of the day, it's about interacting with another fellow human being. Right? And the tendency sometimes, as we climb the corporate ladder, or as we climb up, the tendency that many of us tend to look down rather than respecting the people in front of you. It's the person in front of you rather than it's but all just by position. And I hope that these values still stick in you as you climb even higher in the corporate ladder. That will bring you very far actually. So looking at it and hearing from you, it's not really a challenge, Actually, you're learning every day. It doesn't sound like a challenge for you. It's like you are picking up this and pieces from the people you see and engage, and builds you up and make you even stronger, and making you even wiser. Go ahead. Mashima
And drop already. So
24
you see there's a count.
that shows when the hair starts to drop, it shows lots of wisdom. Right? When you have a clear head, means you have a clear thinking all the time. That's good. So I hope not to see clear thinking or so guys. Mine's still already become a suit. Alright, so the people that interacting with people is a challenge, Right. So the beauty of the job that I admire is that you meet different kind of people. Right? So what you notice with all different what's the one thing about human being that you notice that we can learn from them?
Wow, that's such a deep question.
And let's have coffee.
Could you best simplify?
Okay.
Just
Need a caffeine.
there's one thing I think
Yeah.
that it is. There's not just one thing. There's thousands of things that we can learn from
Yeah, sure, yeah.
everybody. If you ask me, personal preference would be I always love to learn and know individual's background, your history.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's history could be different because
Yes.
what you've gone through brings you to where you are at a point of time when you interact with the person. So sometimes through this sharing or chit-chatting, you actually learn something from the person where the person has gone through and which could be beneficial to you and or to somebody who you come along and see.
Right.
So and that can inspire us a lot, and we do not need to make too many mistakes along life because life is short. We don't have many years to go. We can reach 100 years or maybe some of us, some probably 80s, up to the
But still,
70s.
it's very long, man.
Well, it sounds to be long. I've gone through half of the journey now.
So what are you going to do in the day itself? I will ask you later. So tell me later, sorry.
Yeah. So I guess that the one thing that the question was one thing what do I learn from
From this
these
people that-
people? Yeah. I usually learn the background. As I said, yeah.
Sure.
His history. Otherwise, is that the one thing that I generate from this history is we call value system.
Okay.
So these value systems from different people, from a low end auntie all the way to a CEO, their value system may be very close, although they are on different
Okay.
positions.
Yeah. Please tell me.
Yeah.
Because you meet different levels, right?
Yes. I guess that we need leaders from different hierarchy,
Sure.
and certain value will be carried on. There's another topic which we can carry on another time. It's called leadership.
Good idea. So the next topic will be possibly we looking at leadership. So stay tuned.
So at different groups of people, they will need a certain value in order for them to influence the rest, so that the people will go together in a certain direction.
Right.
So everyone has certain responsibility. You could be a CEO because you are overseeing a bigger picture,
Yeah.
where you bring a bigger group of people to different directions.
Yeah.
But the CEOs will need another layer of leaders called directors or leaders to lead the group of people from the respective departments to go ahead, so that as a whole, as a company, you can go to the direction that you want to go. Each of them carries different types of responsibility. Of course, as you go higher and higher, the response gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
That's why being a CEO running thousands of people, it's not an easy job. You got to crack your head and ensure. Definitely, I'm not a CEO, so I can't think how it is. Like,
You will soon.
I hope so.
Not you will. No, hope so. You will. So we are looking at the future CEO here.
Yeah, CEO.
Yes.
What does CEO stand for?
What? CEO, not COE.
Yeah, okay. So the responsibility is carried so important. Like a person, the head of this company, a CEO, in this crisis pandemic, you know, make sure that the group of people under this company has something to eat. You know, you got to continue to pay them regardless what situation we are at. So you make sure that companies can survive the bottled water. So the auntie at the end, which could be cleaner. So you need to make sure that, well, this group of people come back to work and you make sure the place is clean, hygiene, so that they won't get sick. So the value is what? Responsibility, responsible.
Okay.
Right? So this is one kind of value that we can learn that, well, they may be different, but you can see that this group of people, which is good for the community, we want to get close to them.
Right.
And that's how we also choose and work with certain group of people.
Right.
Yeah.
So So if I can capture that correctly, you mentioned that the one of value that you really seen in all different level will be responsibility. Regardless whether you're the CEO or you're the manager or director, or even whatever within an organization or wherever you are, the responsibility is key. So that's the common one that you see.
Usually we call 5C lah. I'll just mention 1C is commitment, responsibility is commitment.
Okay, wow, okay, yeah. Cash, oh no, that one different C. Sorry.
Oh no, I gotta drink some more.
Oh, coffee also C. Okay, commitment to coffee that will be. Alright, commitment.
That leave for the next round.
Oh, that one leave for next.
Because there's only one question to ask, isn't it? Yeah? Alright?
Yeah, sorry. There's just something about the COVID. How are you coping for yourself?
COVID also is C.
Oh yeah, COVID also C. Oh, C now. Oh, C also C. Okay, so how you been coping? Okay, sorry, I have to digress a bit. How you been coping this COVID time?
C, yeah.
C. No, I still want to be here today. So I've been coping since I think since the circuit breaker in April until now.
I guess I'm struggling to manage. There's a lot of changes.
So sorry, are you been working from home? Are you working physically? Then you have to be on the ground.
Still on the ground.
Okay.
Where because like I said, you need to associate with people.
Alright.
And many times while most of us right now are quite versatile with Zoom and digital platforms or meeting, I can tell you that the digital platform do not have a personal touch. You know, like can I touch you right now? But we can only like that.
Oh,
right.
Zoom can also zoom on the screen.
So we feel with each other as we meet each other, so we understand each other better than compared to just seeing from a digital background. So I still need to meet them from time to time, especially the more challenging ones.
Okay.
Yeah, which they need more time and more patience. And Zoom, some of them may not be comfortable in expressing what they're going through.
Yeah.
So, and you really need to be there to. I sounds like a counselor at times, is it? Yeah.
There's another C, counselor. Today we have a lot of C's today. Started with coffee, counselor, commitment. Right.
Yeah. So it has been a busy year, struggling year, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to face into this year. But thankfully it's ending. 2020 is ending.
Hope, yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully 2021 will be a better year.
Yeah.
But I guess that the virus, regardless whether it be COVID or any other virus, is always will be around. It will be with us. So we need to live cohesively with them, the virus. So I'm learning to cope with the different types of expectation, because during this kind of situation, different types of expectation stresses rises up with different groups of people. So I'm very thankful that I have a good team that work with me, including my bosses, to set objective to move forward accordingly. Yeah.
Alright. Okay, the last time we're talking about sounds interesting, exciting job. With people, mandates, repair days. So every day is very exciting. So this time I asked you what's the one thing in your past 20 years that's the highlight of it. So what's the one thing also? I know we have so many that probably would be your downside, or that it really irks you, that you have experienced it.
I think this question sounds a bit negative. I like to put it in a different perspective.
Wow, okay, sorry.
I call it as colorful.
Oh, colorful.
Yeah.
Alright. So I share one color first.
It's neither white or black.
Okay.
It's full of spectrum of colors. Just brings to the different type of people we meet every day.
Right.
So, while you can see different colors of people, that doesn't mean that color will stick with you the whole life or whole day.
Sure.
So you see different colors. So if you were to be positive enough to know that thing will last. In other words, in fact, 21 years ago when I was in Army, I learned this statement from a very good friend of mine, and until today I never forget.
What's that?
Half time don't last. Half men do.
Wow, okay, yeah. He goes to the gym. I don't know which gym, but he goes to the gym.
So, well, on that basis is that I know that the whole day we have 24 hours.
Yeah.
We've already spent about 8 to 10 hours meeting people. So the duration within our meeting some very tough people, we may think that wow, that's the world. That's most of us who we encounter that, we will feel that. But along the way I felt that that's not the end. They are in a certain situation. If you have the ability to lift them up or sound it out through your words of encouragement to bring them out of the situation, I guess the next person will not consider anymore. But if you don't have, then I guess that your EQ has seen by listening more, and after you walk away, you don't become a rubbish bin, keeping all this rubbish. Learn how to recycle this.
Right. Wow. What you use the 3R, is it? We use recycle. Okay, don't mind if you can share one incident. I like that, what I heard. Can you share one incident, right? That is how you turn a challenging situation or colorful situation in your words to something that's positive. You are facing one challenge probably with the people that you interact with. There is a in between, like from negative, then how you transform it to positive. Maybe you can briefly tell us.
I guess there's no perfect answers. There's no
sure.
10 series for
I'm sure,
situation. Generally is that I share with you three P's.
Okay, wow, 3 P's. Today C's and P's.
P.
And what's that?
Then you go toilet. P and P. I know that's joking.
You don't sound out later. After coffee, you need to go to the washroom.
First of all, we need to be patient.
Okay, yes.
We need to be personal. Personal means that not being personal grudges with the person, but being try to understand on the person's level.
Right.
Personal.
Okay.
Yeah. The other P is I'm still thinking of it. I'll come back to you all later.
Okay, come back. Stay tuned for part 2 for the third P.
Now, in fact, just a joke. Yeah. The third P is that well, we need to progress together. So if you have the objective of progressing together, which is the third P, that will always give you the mind that you want to progress further together rather than you learn spinning. So these are the 3 P's to share.
Wow. How you transform from a negative situation to a positive using the 3 P's. Patience, personable, and progress. Wow. So later on, I'll summarize towards the end. You have not just the 3 P's, you have the C's also. That's including the coffee. Right. Please stay tuned.
Cheers.
Let's start with coffee first.